guys? Starting in a second. Yo, what's going on? Hope everyone's having a good day. Saturday night. Welcome to Digital Slang. I'm going to talk a little tech, my favorite tech products of 2020, my top 10, maybe even do an honorable mention. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday. I chilled all day, just relaxed. Finally, it was good. Good time relaxing today. Hope you guys had a good Saturday and are enjoying the weekend. Everybody staying safe. Max Paul, hi Digital Slang. Love your vids. They really help me. Hey, thank you, Max. I appreciate that. Thanks for coming through. Tonight, my top 10. Now, these are all going to be products that I own. And El Jefe, what's good, brother? Thanks for coming through. I appreciate you, brother. So my top 10, it's going to be all products I own. And numbers 10 through 6 are really in no order. But then the top 5 are my definite top 5 without a doubt. Richie Rich, what's good, brother? Appreciate you. And I even went a little bit extra today. I did set up another camera. So I do have the overhead shot here as well. So I'll be switching back and forth each time I talk about the tech. And then we'll come back to the main camera here. And bear with me, I'm rocking Ecamm tonight, so it's still a bit of a learning process. So hopefully we're going to hope for the best and just roll with it. So again, I appreciate all of you coming through, hanging out on a Saturday night. Saturday nights are usually just a chill night for everybody, right? Wesley, what's good, brother? Thanks for coming through. So we're just going to start, right? Again, 10 through 6 are really in no order. And all products I own. Some of them I'll be able to show you. Some of them I won't. Like, for instance, the camera that I'm shooting on right now is in the list, but I'm not going to be able, of course, to pull that off and show you. But we're going to start. And number 10, you guys know if you follow the channel, and we got the audio guru in the house right now, so he understands why I'm going to talk about these real quick. But coming in at number 10, actually, I can show you these. These are going to be the Soundcore Life Q30s. When I can get a pair of headphones for this price, with this battery life, with the active noise cancellation, and that bass, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. The price does it all. The build quality is good for the price. You really can't beat it. So the Soundcore Life Q30s are in my top 10, right outside the top 10. I do have some other headphones I was going to talk about, but the Q30s, they're new, right? So I'm still getting used to them. I use them every now and then, not a lot, because I'm all about the Xm4s, which are on my head right now. But the Q30s for the price, man, I'm in love with them. Soundcore is doing big things in audio. And you guys should check him out. If you don't know, check out my videos on Digital Slang. El Jefe's in the house right now. Check out his videos. He's got a ton of videos with Soundcore products. Just fantastic stuff. So the Q30s are my number 10 on the list. And again, 10 through 6, not really in any order. But the Q30s, the sound quality, the ANC, the build quality, and better than anything, honestly, the price. So check out the Q30s if you haven't checked them out. If you want to know more about them, check out my videos on the Q30s or El Jefe's video. He's in the chat. Flip the script. What's good, brother? How are you? Rahaley 513. What up from Cincinnati? Thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday night. And Richie Rich. So number 10, the Q30s. And kind of 10 and 10A, right? The Q10s. I was going to do an honorable mention, one or two. My favorite earbuds are still the AirPod Pros. Value, bang for buck. What are we getting? I was going to do like a couple honorable mentions tonight, but it is what it is. I'm just going to roll with it. So the Q30s at number 10. Now at number 9 is kind of one I can't really show you. I guess I can, but it's right here. You'll see I'm going to switch the camera action real quick so you guys can see from the top that I am watching the stream right now on this thing. This is the iPad Pro, the 2020 iPad Pro, and absolutely one of my favorite tech products of the year. And look, I don't do everything that this thing can do. I don't do any editing on it. I just use it for basically streaming, social media, things like that. If I want to watch some of the other creators, this is what I choose to use. And iPad Pro, man, it's expensive as hell, right? And the iPad Air kind of came in this year, and it's probably taken some of the sales away from the iPad Pro. But it's just a fantastic piece of tech. It's almost able to replace your computer. I don't think it's quite I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's not there yet. It's just not there yet. It's so close, right? With the Magic Keyboard and all the good things Apple is doing with it, but it's just not there yet. Another year or two, I think it will do it. So number 10, the Q30s. Number 9, the iPad Pro. El Jefe, Q30s are legit. Absolutely. Tanner So Lit. What's good, brother? Thanks for coming through. Max Paul, do you have any advice on how to test products? You trying to start a channel? Or, I mean, you just got to go through the basics. Test the battery life. Sound quality is kind of your opinion, right? I test my audio products on what I like. I'm a bass head, so I get excited when I have a product that has bass in it. You know, you have your audio files that do it a little differently. Everybody does it different. You just got to find your style, man, and tell everybody what you like. Keep it real. Just do it what you would want to hear, right? When you search for somebody on YouTube, what are you looking for? That should tell you how you should make your videos. So number 10, Q30s. Number 9 was the iPad Pro. Now, number 8, hands down, I'm going to give you guys a little backstory here. Trey says, I edit pics and video, build websites. Yeah, you can do a lot on the iPad Pro, man. It's a beast. Absolutely. Tech for your needs. What's going on, man? Max Paul. Okay. Yeah, if you're starting a channel, man, just, again, search for something. Think about what you're looking for when you watch a video, because that's going to tell you how you should make your videos. At least that's what I do. And then put your own little style on it. It's hard. It's not easy. So coming in at number 8, again, a little backstory here. I've always wanted to do like broadcasting, right? Radio and things like that. And I even signed up. I tried to get into a school maybe like 20 years ago. I couldn't get in. I didn't have the money to get into the school for radio and broadcasting, TV. So I just forgot about it for a little while. And then maybe 8, 9 years ago, you guys have probably heard of Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I actually signed up. I paid my money, put the down payment on, put a couple grand. I think it was like $2,500 I put down for the first semester. And I was excited, right? Radio. I wanted to do radio. 1 week before first semester was start, the dean calls me up and says they're going out of business. They're bankrupt. And I'm beat for my money. So, of course, I was upset. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, man, I'm never going to be able to do radio. It's my dream to do something like this. So the next purchase here, and why I do streaming, is because of that love and that passion for always wanting to do radio. And that's why I think I go a little extra when I try and like buy stuff for streaming. Like, I don't need the Rodecaster Pro, but I bought it because I've always wanted to do something like this. So number 8 on the list. My first XLR mic. This is the pod mic, right? You guys have heard of it. It's from Rode. And let me see here. This thing right here is a beast for the price. $100, right? Sold out everywhere. Very difficult to get right now. They've been hard to get for a long time. But the pod mic was my first XLR mic. And this thing, the build quality, the sound quality, very comparable to the mic I'm using now. I probably didn't even need to get this mic. The pod mic was more than good enough. But as I said a little earlier, I'm a little extra sometimes. But I think at some point I am going to go back to the pod mic. I just think for the price, you're not going to find a better XLR mic for $100. As far as build quality, sound quality, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference between this mic here, which is around $200 to $250, and the pod mic. So at some point, I'll probably get rid of the Procaster here and go back to the pod mic because I like how it sounds. I actually like the look of the pod mic better, and it's so much cheaper, right? The pod mic is just an amazing piece of tech. Tech for Your Needs says, I love my iPad Pro 2020, best investment that I made this year. I don't regret it a bit. Full decked out with the Magic Keyboard and Apple Pencil too. Yeah, it's a great pickup, man. If you could afford the iPad Pro 2020, even if you can't, the iPad Pro 2018, still a beast. And funny thing, I just picked up the iPad Air as well. I picked up the iPad Air from Gameskey, actually. I picked up his iPad Air he was selling on Twitter. So I'm actually going to be selling, I think I'm going to sell my iPad Pro and just roll with the iPad Air because as I said earlier, as much as I love the iPad Pro, I don't use it to its full capability. I just use it for streaming, social media, watching other, YouTube artists and channels and streams. So iPad Air will do the job for me. Mr. Stitch, what's going on, man? Streaming definitely gives the broadcasting vibes. Yeah, that's what I've always wanted to do it. So this is kind of fulfilling a dream for me. Sometimes I'll just think about streaming 5 minutes before I jump on. Like I'll have no plan, no nothing. I just want to jump on and talk on the mic to other people that, like tech. Rashawn's Tech, what's good? Thanks for coming through. I appreciate it. Again, I hope you all are just having a good time, man. Relaxing on this Saturday night. So we talked about the Q30s at number 10. At number 9, the iPad Pro or the iPad Air. You can throw that in there too. iPad Pro, iPad Air. Both of them are incredible pieces of tech. Now, one thing you're not going to find on this list from me, surprisingly, is an iPhone. And that's coming from a lifetime Apple fan and an iPhone user. I've used every iPhone since the iPhone 3. But there's no way you're going to find an iPhone on this year's list. Just can't do it. So what we do? Number 9 was the iPad Pro. Number 8 was the pod mic. Now number 7 is something that I just picked up. And I haven't put a lot of time into it yet. I've only had it for a couple days. And you guys know what it is already. It's the next-gen consoles. So I picked up the Series X, the Xbox. I'm still trying to get that PS5. I'm not going to overpay these insane prices that are going on. Peter, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming through. Tech for Your Needs. I use my iPad Pro for everything, even edit my videos on LumaFusion. Yeah, you can do that with it. Absolutely. So the Xbox Series X is next on the list. And, man, I was huge into gaming back in the day, right? I don't do it as much as I want to now because I always feel like if I'm going to spend 2 hours, 3 hours playing a game, I can spend that time making a video or, prepping for a video or testing for a video, something, right? I just want to stay busy. And I always feel like I'm wasting time when I'm playing video games, but I do want to get back into it a little bit. And the Series X is going to allow me to do that. That's what I'm doing after the stream tonight. I'm jumping right on the Series X. I'm going to play some golf tonight, shoot 18 holes. So that's next on the list. We all know how good those games are. I'm not going to talk about specs. I'm not going to talk about all the bells and whistles. We all know how good those next-gen consoles are. Now, the one thing I don't have is a TV, the proper TV for that next-gen console. So that's next on the list, I guess, if I start playing, if I really get into it. Max Paul, do you think the 12 changed much from the 11? No. No, sir. If you have the iPhone 11, do not upgrade. iPhone 11 is still a beast. The iPhone 12, look, the iPhone 12, all of them, the Mini, the Pro Max, are all great phones. Don't get me wrong. But it's the same old thing, right? The only difference is the redesign, a little better camera, a little faster processor. It's not, you don't need the upgrade because the overall experience of using the phone is going to be exactly the same thing as the iPhone 11 or the XS or probably even the 10. You're not going to notice that much of a difference. Taking pictures, you might see some difference, but not with the 11. I've been thinking about getting rid of my Pro Max, my 12 Pro Max, and going back to an 11, to be honest with you. Flip the script, rocking that PGA while listening. Yeah, PGA is going down tonight. 18 holes. Flip the script. I'm taking you out tonight. You do not want that smoke, son. Saw vlogs. By the way, how's the audio and the video look? Should be shooting in 4K right now, and I'm hoping the audio sounds pretty good. Again, this is Ecamm Live. I did purchase a year of Ecamm Live on Cyber Monday. It was a really good deal, so I had to try it out. Well, by the way, for all the streamers out there, I guess YouTube's coming up next year with their own streaming service, huh? Saul says, hey, man, you got a Series X? Yeah, I did pick up a Series X. I did overpay for it. You know, I do some dumb shit sometimes. I did overpay. I didn't pay a lot. I paid $650 for it. So, you know, normally with tax, it's $550. I paid about an extra $100 for it. I'll do that. Hefe says, you got to find that balance. I should be working on the next video, but I'm going to get, yeah, some Assassin's Creed is the way to go, man. I want to get that too. They had a bundle deal. They had all three, the last three for sale for $79 on Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday week. I think the deal's still going on. It might have just ended. I was so close to pulling the trigger, but I knew I'd spend, you know, 100 hours playing that stuff. But I will say this. I am going to buy a PS5. And if I had one, that would be on the list too. And when God of War comes out, you better believe God of War, I'm stopping whatever I'm doing and I'm playing God of War all the way through. And of course, I still got to play Call of Duty. Trey says, any recommendations on a good dash cam? Nah, I don't really mess around with too many dash cams. I did a video on the Akaso. It's called the Akaso. It's like an action camera almost, and it comes with a mount for a dash cam, and it's 4K, and it's pretty cheap. Check it out. I did a video on it not too long ago, but that's really the only one I tested, so I don't really know too much about dash cams. Tech for your needs. Audio and video is good. Thank you, sir. Pete says the 1080 is max option for me on the 12 Pro. Gotcha. Yeah, 12 Pro Max might be out of here. And I've been talking on the streams on Slangcast, actually, one of the reasons why I'm probably done with Apple for good. I get migraines from Apple's displays. I don't know what it is, but Apple iPhones, since the iPhone 10, have given me really bad migraines. And right now, I'm going through some testing. I did buy a medically graded anti-blue light screen protector for the iPhone 12 Pro Max that a company sent me. So I have it on now, and I'm testing it over the next few days to see if it helps with my headaches. It's supposed to take away 95% of the blue light. And I don't get headaches when I use Samsung phones. So whatever they're doing with their displays, it's messing with me, man. It gives, like, puts me out, like nauseousness. I throw up. Like, I got to just chill all day long. It's terrible. Flip the script. I seem to love the bunker. What are you talking about? The bunker? Oh, and golf. Yeah. You might not want to play me later then, brother. Raheli, how you doing? Has all the specs for the next gen. Absolutely. And I will tell you this. Going back to the iPhone real quick. I do miss my iPhone 11 Pro Max. I traded that in when I bought the Fold 2 again. And I only did it because Samsung gave me $800 for it. But I do miss the Pro Max, the 11, except for the headaches, right? Soul says, how's the Fold 2? The color looks great. Thanks. Fold 2 I'm loving it. I'm glad I bought it again. This time it's, the first time I did it, I got the black one and I financed it. And I just returned it because, it was Techtober. Lots of phones were coming out. I didn't want to just have it sitting around. But now that that's over, I did buy it again, and I did buy it outright with the trade-in. And I'm loving it. Loving it. Very happy that I did it. Shout out to everybody chilling, hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. So, go back over everything real quick. At number 10, we had the Q30s. Number 9, the iPad Pro. Number 8 was the Pod Mic, the Rode Pod Mic. Number 7, the Xbox Series X. Now, number 6, these bad boys right here on my head, the Sony Xm4s. Now, I know there's better headphones out there for audio that are more expensive, but I don't need them. These are more than enough. The Sony Xm4s, even you can add the Sony Xm3s into this list because they're so close. The Xm3s, the Xm4s are only a slight upgrade over the Xm3s, but both of them are unreal, man. As far as noise cancellation goes, the overall package, build quality, comfort, they are expensive. You can get deals on them every now and then. But the Sony Xm4s are number 6 on my list. And they're just a fantastic pair of headphones. If you can afford the Xm4s, pick them up. If you are on a tighter budget, get the Xm3s. I still use them I use them downstairs right now. The Xm3s are on my editing desk where I edit all my videos, and I still use them when I'm editing videos if I just want to, have some peace and quiet. But the active noise cancellation on here is amazing, comfortable. The audio with the app support, right? There's an app with an EQ. Multi-device connection on here. Xm4s are legit, guys. If you want a great pair of headphones, pick up the Xm4s. I'm telling you. Or the Xm3s. If you want to spend a little less, get the Xm3s. Solid pair of headphones. So on this list so far, 2 pairs of headphones, right? The Q30s and the Xm4s. Now, you're not going to find any earbuds, surprisingly. They're not on the list. They're not in my top 10. Not earbuds this year because my favorite earbuds still are the AirPod Pros, and they didn't come out this year. And again, I know there's better earbuds out there than the AirPod Pros. However, I have not tested them. So if I didn't test them, if I don't own them, they're not going to be on the list. It's just all this tech is just stuff that I own. Peter says, for your information, I'm not able to see 4K as an option on the stream. I do when it's available. Yeah, I'm not sure why. The output right now says, let's see. Yeah, it says I'm in 4K. Stream size says 4K. Stream aspect 16.9. Man, Ecamm, anybody here use Ecamm Live? There's so much to it. I need to take some classes on it. And again, if you guys are here chilling, if you can hit that like button, we all know how much that does help. I did try this look with the overhead cam. This thing right here. See this guy right here? That guy's on the list. Way up on the list. So, StreamYard did not look anywhere near as crispy as Ecamm. So I had to try it on Ecamm tonight. Now, I am having problems on Ecamm with bringing in a guest. Every time I bring in a guest, there's a crazy echo. I tried it last night. We had an echo for the whole stream. It's pretty annoying, to be honest with you. So 10 through 6. Now we're going to get into the top 5. 10 through 6 are in no specific order. So take that for whatever you want. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They are in order. Now, coming in at number 5, one of my favorite pieces of tech, not only in 2020, but probably of all time, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. This phone is the first phone, the only phone I told you guys earlier, I was a lifelong iPhone user as my daily driver, right? Every now and then I'd get a Note. I had the Note 9, I had the Note 8, the Note 10, the Note 10 Plus. I had them all. And I'd try them out, put my SIM in it, take my SIM right back out. After a week, I couldn't rock with it. I always went back to the iPhone, right? And that's why I used the iPhone 11 Pro Max for so long. The Note 20 Ultra was the first Galaxy phone that I kept my SIM in. Tech for your needs. Ecamm Guest is a new feature. They still need to make improvements. Yeah, there's a couple buggy things on here. So the Note 20 Ultra, I had the white version. Now I did sell it the other day. Got a really good deal on it. And I have this guy here just to show you, a little something. I still have the Note 20, the regular Note 20. This is the green. Now, I did choose to keep this phone over the Note 20 Ultra. And the only reason I chose to keep this phone over the Note 20 Ultra is the flat display on the front. I need a flat display. I love flat displays, and I guess that's because I'm used to an iPhone. But every time I rock a curved display, accidental touches, it's just a problem for me. And it happened all the time on the Note 20 Ultra. But still saying that the Note 20 Ultra was one of my favorite phones of all time. It's number 2 on my list of favorite phones of all time. And I'm sure you guys can guess what number 1's going to be. But it's the only phone that has ever made me switch from Apple, right? The ecosystem, my family, my friends, they're all in I don't even know the word. Like everybody's in the ecosystem. So I wanted to stay in there. iMessage, it just works, like it should. It's very simple to use. Everything is seamless. It's very hard to get out once you're in. It's very difficult. And when the Note 20 Ultra came out, that's the first time that it just made it very easy to do, right? It was a no-brainer at one point. I was just like, why would I go back? I don't need iMessage. It's just convenient. Now, AirDrop's a different story. I do use AirDrop, and I will always use AirDrop. But the rest of it, the one thing that I always hated was when I would get a video from an iPhone user to an Android device, right? It dumbs it down, it scales it down, and the video looks like crap. Now, I know there's third-party apps you can use and send it that way, but trying to get everybody to use that app is a little difficult. Or Haley, so mad I missed the AirPod Pro deals this year. $169 for the AirPod Pros is a steal. I think they're going for $199 though. If you go on Amazon, I think they're $199 right now, and that's a good deal. $199 for the AirPod Pros, you can't go wrong at that price. Solid deal. Go over the specs of the Note, please. The Note 20 Ultra, man, I got to try and remember the specs. Snapdragon chipset, huge display, 6.9-inch display, OLED. Curved display, though. That's the problem I had with it. S Pen support, 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. I had the Mystic White. Monster phone. Beast. Sucking up content, like watching content on the Note 20 Ultra. Until that Fold 2 came out, there was nothing better, in my opinion, on the market that you could watch content on. The Note 20 Ultra had it all. The tiny, tiny little hole punch, the tiny bezels. You couldn't beat it. And I do love this thing. I do love the Note 20, the regular version. A little smaller, right? 6.7-inch display on here. But somebody offered me $900 for the Note 20 Ultra. And since I'm using a different Samsung phone anyway as my daily driver, I figured why not get rid of it, right? It's time. I'll keep the Note 20, the flat display around. But yeah, Note 20 Ultra is number 5 on my list. And my number 2 favorite phone of all time. Number 2 on the list. Saul says, I love how much dedication you put into your videos and streaming. You post super high quality stuff. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm trying to learn every day, man. There's a lot of people out there much better than me, but every day I try and learn a little bit, do something a little better each day. It's very hard to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very hard to, even though you're talking to a camera, like right now I'm talking to a camera. And in my videos, I'm talking to a camera. But it's very difficult to kind of open up and be yourself and show your personality. Because I like to joke around, man. I talk a lot of trash. I talk a lot of crap to my friends. And I like to joke around, but I haven't been able to bring that out on camera yet because it's difficult, man. You know, I'm an introvert at heart, so it's very difficult to just open up, even though you're talking to a mic. But I appreciate that. Thanks. Tech for your needs. Fold 2. Yeah, man. I'm not hiding it. It's on the list. Is it number 1, though, is the real question. But the Fold 2 is on the list. Luke, man, keep doing your thing, G. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Richie Rich says, I really like my iPhone 12 Pro Max coming from an iPhone 11. Would like to hear how good that screen protector that is good for headaches turns out for you. Well, yeah, I'll definitely let you know. Now, look, my favorite iPhones of all time are the old phones, right, with that squared off design. So I, probably more than most people, was crazy excited for the redesign. The squared off edges. I think it's surprising a lot of people how big that really feels in your hand. Because it's not much bigger than the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but it just feels that way because of the redesign and the squared off edges. I even did unboxing videos a month ago in honor of the new phones. I unboxed a brand new iPhone 5. I unboxed a brand new iPhone 4. Oh, by the way, Big Blue, what up? Giants. They're 4-7. They suck, and they're in first place. What does that tell you? NFC East is trash. So, yeah, I do like the redesign. But again, Rich, it's the same old iPhone. We need more. The notch has to go. The notch got to go. Face ID has to go. I hate Face ID. It's terrible. It's never worked for me. And I understand Apple couldn't predict the pandemic, so the fact that Face ID doesn't really work right now, it's not really their fault, but they do have to change it up because the world we live in is going to stay like this for a while. So I'm expecting next year they change it up. And you see they're doing it with the iPads, right? The iPad Air has the fingerprint sensor on the power button. The computers are starting to have them. So hopefully next year we get in-display fingerprint sensor. Give me something on the back like the Pixel phones are doing, right? Anything. Give me just another option. Get rid of the notch. 120 hertz refresh rate. You got to give me something because just upgrading the camera and processor every year, it's boring. And it's only boring, right? It's still a great phone. You're right. It's a great phone. But it's only boring because what other companies are doing. Look at what the other companies are doing. Look at what Pixel is doing, right? They dropped their pricing. They went, mid-range this year. They're blowing it up. Look at LG, right? They took a risk with the wing. It's cool. But look at what Samsung did this year. Note 20 Ultra, the S20 FE. I got a Cloud Red S20 FE, and that almost made the list right here. It didn't make the list because it was between that and the Note 20 Ultra. But the S20 FE is a beast of a phone for $700. Beast. Love that phone for $699. Flagship specs, $699. So that's why iPhones are boring this year. It's because of what the other companies are doing. But I still love Apple. I'm always going to have an iPhone, but it's not going to be my main phone anymore. It's just not. Tech for your needs. Note 20 Ultra looks nice in white. Favorite color. Yeah, that's what I had. I had the white one. Mystic white, Mystic bronze, Mystic white, Mystic black. They're all cool colors, but I do like the white one. iPhone 5 is my favorite iPhone of all time. Yeah, iPhone 5, great phone. Slate black. Remember the slate black color? That's the one I have downstairs. I might even put my SIM in it for a little while and try and use it. Matter of preference, I love Face ID. Yeah, a lot of people like Face ID. I just hate it. Maybe it's this grill. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. Never has. Even before, we had to wear a mask every day, Face ID never worked for me. It doesn't work on my iPad Pro either. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know what the deal is. Don't know. So, number 5 was the Note 20 Ultra. Number 4, go over the list real quick. Coming in at number 10, the Q30s, right? Soundcore Life Q30s. Budget-friendly pair of incredible headphones. Number 9, iPad Pro. We all know what a beast it is. Very expensive. Number 8, the Rode Pod mic for podcasting. It is an XLR mic, so you will need an interface with it, but it's $100 and it sounds amazing. Number 7, Xbox Series X or S. You can throw the S in there too. I got no problem with the S. A little cheaper if you're on a budget. Number 6, Sony Xm4s. Xm4s, Xm3s, both of them. Awesome headphones. One of the best you can get with ANC. What else we got here? Number 5, Note 20 Ultra. So we're breaking into the top 5, Note 20 Ultra. Number 5 on the list. Coming in at number 4. And again, this goes back to that backstory I gave you with like radio and broadcasting, right? The pod mic is on the list. Well, the Rodecaster Pro happens to be number 4 on the list. And hopefully this doesn't disconnect anything when I pull it up. But this guy right here, number 4 on the number 4 on the list. This thing, look, it's very expensive. I understand that. And it's not what I started with. I did start with something else, a cheaper mixer. But once I did all the reviews, watched all the reviews, watched all the videos, I fell in love with it. And this is one of my favorite products that I have ever purchased in my entire life. It's just everything I could have ever wanted. And it just gives me that feeling of fulfilling that dream that I've always had to do radio, right? So the Rodecaster Pro, I didn't care really how much that it costs, right? $600. It's expensive. But it didn't matter to me because in a way, it was kind of fulfilling a dream. So this is, and look, I know this didn't come out. It didn't come out in 2020, but I purchased it in 2020. It's been out for a couple years now. But for me, having this almost made it to number 1 on the list, right? There was a time this morning and yesterday where this was in the top spot because it kind of fulfilled that dream for me. And look, again, $600, but you could have 4 XLR mics plugged into it. All of the sound effects that come with it standard that you can add more to. It's a preamp. It does everything. It will record your audio. You have 4 different spots for headphones and mics. You control all the levels. You can add compressors, all kinds of different things you can do with it. And if you guys know Tom Buck, he's the one that talked me into that. He talked me into the pod mic. I got a cloud lifter for it now. I blame Tom Buck for everything. I blame you, Tom. And he knows that. He knows it's his fault. But I wouldn't take it back. All these things, the pod mic, the Rodecaster Pro, even the Procaster here, it's kind of fulfilling a dream for me. And doing this on Saturday night is kind of fulfilling a dream for me, right? It's what I've always wanted to do. I didn't think I'd be doing it on YouTube, though. But it's what I've always wanted to do. So, at number 4, the Rodecaster Pro. And you guys know, I know a lot of creators have it. Expensive, but very good. So, coming in at number 4, the Rodecaster Pro. Now, top 3, here we go. Top 3. Now, unfortunately, this next one, I'm not going to be able to show you because it's filming this video. And coming in at number 3 happens to be the Sony A6600. I started YouTube with Canon, right? Because I didn't know what to use, so I just watched video after video after video. And I started with a Canon T6S. I think I paid a couple $100 for it at the time. And I used that for probably my first 30, 40 videos. And then I upgraded. And after watching tons and tons of videos from Think Media, I purchased the Canon 80D, right? It's one of the most popular cameras at the time for YouTube creators. So I bought that. And I know I didn't need to, right? I could have used my phone, but I'm in a position where I was able to buy it. So I bought it. So I used the Canon 80D for a long time. I mean, all the way up until the middle of this year. And I had two of them. I had one as the overhead cam and one as the main shooter. And, you know, I loved it. But the color profile on it, I didn't like it too much. I know I just prefer how Sony cameras look. And I know you could do color grading afterwards. But for me, I just want to pick something, shoot it. And the color grading I do now for my videos, I mean, it literally takes me 10 seconds because of Sony's picture profiles and the way they shoot. So I finally decided to sell one of my Canon 80Ds, and I bought the Sony A6600. And I am in love with this camera, in love with it. It's small. It's not heavy, right? It's not big and clunky. The 80D, if you guys know the 80D, it's a giant camera. So the Sony A6600, and I do have the trio of Sigma lenses. Right now, it's the 30mm 1.4 on it. It shoots in 4K. It's shooting in 4K right now. And it is APS-C, right? So it's a crop sensor, but it only, I don't know if everybody knows this, it only crops if you're shooting in 4K 30 frames per second. If you're shooting in 4K 24 frames per second, it doesn't crop. It's full frame. So I'm shooting in 4K 24 frames per second. And I love how crispy it is. I love the look. It doesn't shut off, right? It'll record forever. Buy a dummy battery for it. It'll just record. You got the Sigma art lenses. For me, I don't really need much more for what I do. For what I use it for, I don't need much more. So a lot of these things, some of them on this list are, you know, I used to say, and I still say it all the time. I say it in my streams. I say it in my videos that what is tech? Tech is just toys for adults. And some of these things on this list are toys, straight up toys, right? The Xm4s, they're a toy for me. The Q30s, a toy for me. But some of them are tools, right? The camera's a tool. The Rodecaster Pro is a tool. They're still toys, but I just, you know, if you can make money using this stuff, do it. iPad Pro is a good tool. So the Sony A6600. And I also use for my overhead camera downstairs where I shoot my videos for Digital Slang. My overhead camera is the Sony A6600, which is a great camera, a little cheaper. Great camera, very similar to the A6600 in every way, basically. Smaller battery life. That's about it. And this look right here, this is actually my Canon 80D still. So I did hook this up today as an overhead cam from where I stream upstairs. And this is my last Canon 80D that I had. I did have two of them. I sold the one, and this is the second one. So this is what you're seeing right now, the Canon 80D shooting with the nifty 50mm. Cream Dividends, what's going on? AirPod Pros I picked up for $142. That's a solid cop right there, man. $142 for AirPod Pros? You can't beat that. By the way, I'm drinking Arizona iced tea. If anybody likes Arizona, not sponsored. So yeah, Sony A6600. I thought about going to, you know, full frame, but I don't need it. I don't need it. This will shoot full frame in 24 frames per second. So I'll just roll with that. It's a great camera. Oscar arrived late because of things, but glad to see you live, man. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming through. Again, we're going through the top 10, my favorite pieces of tech in 2020. And again, this is tech that I own. I know there's other tech out there that is fantastic. You know, if somebody didn't send it to me or I didn't go out and buy it on my own, I'm not going to put it on the list if I haven't used it and played with it. So we are on, what number are we on? Sony A6600 was number 3. So the top 2 right now. Number 2 on the list is, and when I bought this next thing, I spent a lot of money on it. And it's something that I needed. And I said to myself at the time, if you buy this, there's going to be new ones coming out in a few months. Make sure it's something you really want to do. So I bought, about 4 months ago, I bought the new iMac, right? I bought the very expensive iMac. 2020 iMac, 10 core, i9, the upgraded graphics card, 2 terabyte. I put an extra terabyte, 2 terabyte SSD in it with 32 gigs of RAM, standard from Apple, because I'm not going to pay extra for the RAM. But I knew the M1 Max were coming out, right? And they just dropped not too long ago. But I said to myself, I use iMacs all the time for my day job. And I'm using an iMac right now up here. This is a 2013 iMac, 27-inch. I did put a SSD drive in it myself, and I upgraded. I maxed out the RAM, but on here, I think the max RAM was 32 gigs. So this one's maxed out, and this is what I've been editing on since I started YouTube on this computer. And a lot of the things that I needed to do, or not that I needed to do, but a lot of the things that I wanted to do, this would not allow me to do it. Even simple plugins from some of the Final Cut Pro plugins that you can get and buy to kind of spice up your videos, it would just lock this computer up, freeze it right up. I wasn't able to use it. So I said to myself, I need to upgrade my computer. Do I wait? Because I'm not a laptop person. So I wasn't going to get a MacBook. I wasn't going to get a MacBook Pro or Air. Mac Mini, I would do a Mac Mini, but I knew the M1 computers were coming out. So I was debating back and forth whether I should get the new iMac or not. But again, you know, a lot of the creators, and thankfully I watched these videos, but a lot of them at the time said, look, if you need a certain tool to get the job done right now, there's no need to wait. The new iMacs are going to be fantastic and powerful, but it is the first iteration of them, so there might be some bugs. This computer that I was looking at, the 10-core i9, was a beast, just as powerful as the iMac Pros that were released a few years ago. So I was like, all right, let me go get it. I'm going to go get it. So I did buy it, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. And again, it's a tool. I use it for YouTube. I use it for my day job. Now, my day job, look, I own a small business. I do screen printing and embroidery, t-shirts and apparel. Been doing it for over 20 years. So I use my iMac every single day. Photoshop, Illustrator, every single day. So one of the best decisions. It's the most expensive thing. I've never purchased a new computer ever until this one. But one of the best purchases I've ever made in my life, ever. It saves me at least 30 minutes to an hour every time I edit a video. And Photoshop and Illustrator, it just breezes right through it. And I'm kind of like happy that I did it because I know it's going to be the last Intel-based iMac. So maybe it'll be worth something down the line. I don't know. Tech for your needs. A6600 is a nice camera. Yeah, I love it, man. Love it. I love how portable it is, how light it is. The Sigma lenses that you can get for it. Super crispy. C. Butler, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. Now we are down to number one. Number one on the list, man. And I'm sure you guys all know what number one is. It's been sitting on my desk this whole time. I'll show it to you one more time. It's sitting right there. So Number one on the list is the Galaxy Z Fold 2. This thing right here is my favorite piece of tech of all time. And it's not even close. Not even close. This, of course, the Mystic Bronze. I did have the black one at first before I got rid of it. But I got to be honest with you. This phone, I can't even call it that. I can't even call it a phone. It's so much more than a phone. The Z Fold 2, it is a true phablet, right? When it's folded, it's a phone. It's not as wide as a regular phone. I would like it to be a little wider, but it's a phone. And when you open it, it's basically the size of an iPad mini. And watching content on this phone, 120 hertz refresh rate, 7.6 inch display when it's open. I can watch content on the Z Fold 2 all day. And let me tell you what, just opening and close. You guys see Viper in his videos, how much fun they have, and the Poets when they open and close the Fold 2. Every time you do it, and I mean every single time, it feels so damn good. I don't know, I can't even really explain it. But every time you open and close the Z Fold 2, it's just a fun experience. And that's why I love it. It's just fun. It's much more than just a piece of tech. Like, it's just a joy to use. It's so different than anything else. Samsung took a risk here with the original Fold, and the original Fold had some issues, and they listened to, complaints and to things they needed to fix, and they nailed it with the Z Fold 2. They blew it out of the water, nailed it. I would have liked a little more color, like some other different colors than the Mystic Bronze. I would have loved to have, they got a Mystic White Note 20 Ultra. I would be rocking the Note 20, or I would be rocking the Z Fold 2 in Mystic White if that came in that. I don't know why the hell do cell phone companies do that? The cooler colors go to the more budget end of the phones. I never understood that. Give me some more colors on the premium models, Apple. So yeah, Z Fold 2, it is, again, I'm not going to call it a phone because it's so much more than that. It's a piece of entertainment. It's a tool. It's a multitasking beast. Watching content, watching YouTube videos on there, not only because of the display, but because of the speakers. The best speakers I've ever heard on anything that's like a phone. Again, I'm trying not to call it a phone, but if I'm going to call it a phone, the best speakers, hands down, on any phone ever. And it's not even close. Flip the script, man. I thought the Mac was number one. Yeah, it almost was, but it's number two. But I can see how you have the Fold as number one. You bought it twice for, yeah, I bought it twice. I did buy it twice. Yeah, the Fold 2, man. But again, the iMac is a straight up tool, right? I'm not really getting joy out of the iMac, if that makes sense, right? It's not like entertaining me. I'm using it as a tool to get work done. The Fold 2 is a little different. The Fold 2, I can use it as a tool to get work done, but I'm also getting enjoyment from it. It's a lot of fun. It feels incredibly premium when you're using it. Watching content is second to none. The camera is great. There's better cameras out there, but the Fold 2 still has great cameras. Next year, we're going to have an S Pen on the Fold 3. So yeah, number one, man, Fold 2, hands down. Hands down. So again, the list. Q10's at number 10. Number 9, the iPad Pro. Number 8, the Pod Mic, Rode Pod Mic. Number 7, Xbox Series X. And look, if I was a PlayStation guy, PS5 would be on the list, but I've always been an Xbox person. You know, all my friends, my boys usually play Xbox, so that's what I rolled with. I have nothing against PlayStation. I think it's just as good. Series X, though, is just what I play. Coming in at number 6, Xm4s, Sony Xm4s. Can't go wrong there. Or the XM3s, you can throw them in the mix too. Peter says, can you show us some ways you use the Z Fold 2? Example of the way you multitask and use camera in fold mode. Yeah, Peter, I have videos on the Fold 2. I have like 3-4 videos on the Fold 2 with full reviews, showing you flex mode, showing you all that stuff if you want to check it out on Digital Slang. Saul says, strangely, you can still buy Intel MacBooks alongside its M1 counterpart, and support right now for M1 MacBook apps isn't great. So Intel was definitely the right choice. Yeah. It's going to take a while before they rotate through all of that stock that they have. And before, like, it's going to be years before we see, I think, the Apple Store, you know, just with M1 computers. Or M2 or M1X, whatever we're going to call the next chip. Intel Macs will still be around for a couple years with support. So number 6 was the XM4s. Number 5 was the Note 20 Ultra. Second favorite phone of all time. Coming from a lifetime iPhone user. Note 20 Ultra, second favorite phone of all time. Behind the Z Fold 2. Number 4, Rodecaster Pro. Again, kind of Rodecaster Pro and the pod mic kind of fulfilling a dream for me. So there's a lot of meaning behind these two products, which is why they're on the list. Rodecaster Pro is a great tool. Where are we at? Number 5, number 4. Number 3, the Sony A6600. My camera that you're watching right now. Number 2, the iMac, which I can't show you. But yeah, the iMac, it almost was number 1. But the reason the Z Fold 2 kind of won me over was the entertainment factor of it, right? It's not just a tool, but it's a toy. The iMac, for me, is just a tool to get work done. And it blows through it, destroys it. Anything I'm doing, this thing just blows through it. So I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy I didn't wait for the M1 iMacs because this thing's a beast. I'm happy with it. Very happy with it. It does what I needed to do, and it does it well. So number 2, the iMac. And number 1, the Z Fold 2. Now, look, the color, whatever. I'm not a big fan of the Mystic Bronze color. I only got the Mystic Bronze color because the first Z Fold 2, I got Mystic Black. So I just wanted something different. And I do like it. It's okay. It's not really my style. But it's good. No fingerprints. The black version had crazy fingerprints. Check out my videos. The fingerprints on the black Z Fold 2 are unreal. But the Mystic Bronze, no fingerprints at all. So I like that. Using it, and let me tell you this. Using it without a case and with a case are completely different experiences. I have been using it without a case now for a while. And I do have to be really careful with it. The cases that I'm finding for it are very bulky. Even I got the Spigen thin fit case. Even that, for whatever reason, feels bulky to me. So I did order a carbon fiber case for it. It's coming from AliExpress, so it's going to take like a month to get here. It's been a couple weeks, so hopefully it'll be here soon. But it's very similar to Pataka's Mag Easy case, how thin they are. That's what I rock on this guy right here on my iPhone 12 Pro Max, right? Very thin carbon fiber case. So I'm hoping when that comes, the Z Fold 2 will still feel a certain way, because that's one of the things I love about it is how it feels when you hold it and when you play with it without a case. So I need a very thin case for it. And that's what I do with all my phones. I'm a very minimalistic person, very simple. I like thin, simple things. Not really much drop protection on any of my cases. Scratch protection, yeah, but not really any drop protection. That's how I roll. I just got to be careful. I can't get upset if I drop or break something. But that's it, guys. Top 10 of 2020. We have been streaming for right about an hour now. So I appreciate each and every one of you coming through. Again, top 10, Q30s at the bottom of the list. Z Fold 2 at the top of the list. Again, number 10 through 6. No real order there, just in my top 10. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are absolutely my favorite pieces of tech of 2020. And that's about it, guys. We're going to wrap it up here in a minute. I appreciate everybody coming through. I'm not going to try and keep everybody tonight. It is, what time is it? It's 11 o'clock. Pixel 5 was able to use a thin metal layer around a plastic body, and this allowed wireless charging. Do you think all metal phones are going to make a comeback? I don't know, man. I like aluminum phones, to be honest with you. The Pixel 5 cut out that back section so they can have wireless charging in there. I hope they do. I would rather see aluminum phones than plastic phones, right? That's the problem with this phone right here. This Note 20, the plastic phone, right? This was kind of the backlash for this phone. I don't think this phone would have taken as much heat as it did if it was aluminum. But the fact that it's plastic and was $1,000, I think was a big problem for people. The other problem with that phone was the S20 FE. The S20 FE had better specs than the Note 20, and it was $300 cheaper. I feel like Samsung, that's the one misstep Samsung had this year was the regular Note 20. I feel like they didn't know what to do with it. Note 20 Ultra, worth the money. Flagship everything. S20 FE, flagship specs, but in a plastic form factor. And then in the middle, you had this Note 20 that didn't have as good of specs as the S20 FE. S20 FE has 120 hertz refresh rate with the same display as the Note 20, with the same plastic build, with the same Snapdragon processor. Where's the price there? You telling me I'm paying $300 extra for an S Pen? I don't think so. But I think if the Note 20 was aluminum with something like the Pixel did with cutting out for wireless charging, and even it should have had like 90 hertz refresh rate on it, it'd be okay. The only reason I have it is I got it for $450. But I would like to see, to answer your question, yes, I would like to see aluminum phones come back. I don't have a problem with them. They feel more premium than plastic phones. So hopefully they come back. What do you guys think of the Pixel 5, by the way? I have some issues with it. For me, the 4A is so much better value than the Pixel 5. There's no way the Pixel 5 is worth twice as much as the 4A. It's just not. What's different? An ultra wide? That's it, right? You know they're exactly the same size phone. Pixel 5 has a little bigger display because of the bezels. But side by side, they're exactly the same size phone. But, I mean, they're good. Both are good. But I just don't see the Pixel 5 being worth twice as much as the 4A. I just don't see it. And the 4A 5G, a bigger display. But that is a story for another stream. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you coming through tonight. My top 10 tech products of 2020. Again, these are all ones that I have owned, that I have played with, and that I enjoy. So top 10, Q30s, iPad Pro, Pod Mic, Xbox, Note 20 Ultra, Fold 2, iMac, Xm4s, Rodecaster Pro. I hope you guys get to play with them. Tech for your needs. I don't, the Pixel 4a 5G being bigger than, yeah, the Pixel 4a 5G's got a bigger display, 6.2 inches. Pixel 5, 6 inches. Pixel 4a 5G's bigger. That's it, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for coming through. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there. Crazy times still And I'm not sure it's going to change anytime soon. Hopefully it does. Again, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Digital Slang. And we stream also on Friday nights on my other channel, Slangcast. That's it, man. Stay safe out there. I'll be back soon, guys. Peace.